pay attention to the chat until afterwards. So whatever you want to say, I will respond to it after, but I just want to make sure that this game goes smoothly and uninterrupted so you get it in the best way. So you don't get to control if you're the villain in someone else's story. One of the realest things that someone said to me one time is when we had a situation, where we fell out and then later on we rekindled. I was sitting here, and don't get me wrong, in situations where I'm not the cause of the fallout, I won't apologize. But when I did something wrong, which you guys should take game in this, you got to know how to be accountable and you got to know how to apologize. And I was apologizing, and this person goes, "Mark, you don't worry about apologizing, but just understand, you don't get to decide. Even though you explain yourself, you don't get to decide if you're the bad guy in someone else's story." And that hit me to my core, because it was like, dang, we live our lives only telling one side of the story, but the one side of the story that you tell, the other person that tells that side of the story, you might be the bad guy. So whoever you're telling is going to be influenced, that person the bad guy or this person the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And from that point on, but even before that point, anytime that I told my story, I told where I messed up and I told what the other person did. But you don't get to control if you're the bad or good guy in someone else's story. So I'm going to correlate this to a very unfortunate event that took place tonight in Ohio, or last night, whatever you want to say. It's Saturday, but I'm talking about Friday. There was a football game, a high school football game, and during the game, it was stopped due to, let's just say, a pew-pew event that took place, and 3 people were harmed, and you just see people running away from this event. And they're saying that it was likely due to gang violence. And it's just very unfortunate to hear things like this, because you understand that it's only going to spiral from there. You understand that it's only going to spiral from there. Now, the people that were involved with it, in their description of the story, they feel like they were justified in doing it, because the cycle of revenge is one that doesn't end. You take, they're going to take from you. It just never ends. You take, someone else is going to take from you. But to the public eye, you did this at a high school football game where there's innocent bystanders, mainly consisting of children or the parent of the children. And when I say children, I'm talking about high schoolers, because they're still minors, in a completely civilianated scenery. And no matter what your motive is, or no matter who you were taking revenge for, it's never right to go to a public place and do something like that, because innocent bystanders can become casualties due to something they have nothing to do with. Gang violence in general is destructive to me, and I am against every single bit of it. But bringing it to public places is dangerous. And this is why I say it's safe to say it's not safe outside, man. Even at a football game on a Friday night, you might hear pew-pews go off. You guys got to watch your environment. And a lot of times we don't really take heed to emergency exits and things of that nature, because a lot of people think that they'll never have to use it, right? They think that they'll never have to use it, so they don't really pay attention and they don't really care about it. But you need to take heed to those things, because we live in a current society where the frequency of people is so low and to almost an insane level that they're going to try and they're going to do things that wouldn't have been tried and done to the extent that they are now. They say that they're on demon time, right? So you guys got to make sure that you're aware of your exit areas. But I say all that to say this, that whatever their motive was, they're not right for that. And in their honest opinion, if they haven't been caught, they feel justified. They feel like they just did something good. But to the public opinion, they're bad guys, they're villains. They need to be taken up and taken away immediately. So, guys, don't be selfish when seeking revenge. I'd say it's not best to seek revenge, period, because it's a cycle that ends. So if you get your revenge, someone's going to come to avenge them and get revenge on you. But if you're going to take it in private. And why you got to do it with a gang? If you got a problem with somebody, why can't you address those people or that person by yourself? Why do you need a gang? It just goes to show you're weak. And this goes to my explanation that I've given many times. Clowns only perform when they have a crowd. The people that did that, the person that made that call, had he went alone, he probably wouldn't have done that. But it's when people have this fabricated sense of protection because they have Bob Joe and Dylan Bob and around them, they feel like they can do this and they can do that. Because now they got strength. They're not strong by themselves. They're sheep by themselves, but all of a sudden they become wolves get with their packs. Doesn't make sense. But I say all that to say this. Watch your circle before they hurt you, and watch your surroundings before you become a casualty. People getting their snot box rocked out here. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. Now I'm going to read the chat and I'm going to see what everybody says. And if you haven't already, make sure that you tap the follow and the bell button. I'm getting ready to conclude this episode. And I might do another one and I might not. But either way, if I don't, these will all be available for playback on YouTube. And I'm going to do insane amounts tomorrow regardless. Yes, it's becoming a hard world to live in. Yes, indeed, my friend. Okay, no one else said anything, so that means y'all was soaking up the game. That's completely fine with me. So I hope you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Peace.